Hello and welcome to the Level 3 Award in Education and Training. Thank you for choosing ATC Training. My name's Andrew and either myself or one of my colleagues will be available to help you through the course. First, I'm going to explain a little bit about the qualification. It's a Level 3 qualification. In academic terms, that's equivalent to an A level. A Level 3 education and training qualification will qualify you to work as a trainer in the workplace, and it will also qualify you to get a job as a tutor in a college or work in the further education sector. Some colleges or providers may ask you to work to a higher level, such as the Level 4 or the Level 5 in education and training. We offer the Level 3 course in 3 different ways. You can either complete it as self-study, you can join an online Microsoft Teams course, or you can attend a classroom session. However you're doing it, the requirement is the same what you need to complete. You will need to complete 3 written essays as part of the course and also deliver a 15-minute micro-teach session. You'll also submit a lesson plan for your micro-teach session, and after your session, do a self-evaluation. Once you've done all of that, the final bit is to complete a learner declaration, and you will then be complete and have your certificate within around 7 days. This is a relatively short qualification. You can complete it in as little as a week, or we do allow up to 12 months. So the Level 3 Award in Education and Training has 3 essays that you need to complete. We do have templates available for all of the written essays, so please use them. It will make your life easier. Those templates are available to download in your course materials. If it's been a while since you wrote an essay, don't worry. The worst that can happen, if it's not quite good enough, we are going to give you some feedback and advice on how to make it better. It's likely that you may have answered most of the questions and you may just have missed a certain part of it. The obvious first bit of advice is to make sure you reread your essay and reread the questions and ask yourself, have you answered them before you submit it? We do recommend that you do a spelling and grammar check on your essay, and you can do this using the built-in Microsoft Word functions. You can or may choose to use a third-party website like Grammarly, which will also give you suggestions on how to improve your text. Be careful though not to use things like AI to actually produce your answers for you or plagiarize other people's work. That is not allowed, and you can check out more information within our malpractice policy. But we do run your essays through software that will detect plagiarism, and it will also detect if AI have produced your answers. So please don't be tempted to do so. We do require you to contextualize your answers to your actual job. If you're a trainer in healthcare, we would expect to see healthcare related examples. When you're talking about legislation, we would expect you to talk about generic legislation such as Health and Safety at Work Act, Equality Act, but you can also mention any industry specific regulations. When writing your essays, you do not need to reference. It's Level 3, so referencing is not mandatory. However, if you know how to reference or you want to give it a go, please do so. There's further information on how to reference, and our preferred referencing style is Harvard. You can see a short video on our website page that will help you out if you wish to do so. We try our best to mark your essays within 5 working days. At busy times, we may go over that, and sometimes you may have it back the same day. You will see the essays have a recommended word count. That is just a recommendation, so don't worry about hitting it perfectly, and don't worry if you go over it. However, if our recommended word count says 250 words and you only do 50, it's highly unlikely that you've answered the question correctly. So use it as a rough guide to give you an idea of our expectations of how much text is required. If you have any additional learning requirements when it comes to doing your essays, your written work, please contact your tutor and we can talk about alternative methods. We do sometimes get asked, what are the numbers at the end of the question in the essays? This refers to the learning outcomes that you will hit if you pass that question. That is not a reference for you to go looking in the material, so don't get confused with that. For your purposes, you can ignore it. The reason it's at the end of the question is because it shows our awarding body how we have mapped the learning outcomes to the questions. You can access our online library, which has a PDF copy of a workbook and loads of other resources available. You'll also find that link from your training materials. Your online learning account has loads of training resources available. probably a little bit more than you actually need for the course. So you can feel free to dip in and out of that training material as you're answering the questions if you're not quite sure how to answer them. If you're attending a tutor-led course, you don't necessarily need to look at the training resources because this content will effectively be delivered to you by your trainer. When you get to assignment 3, you'll notice that you've got two choices. You can choose the standard assignment or the alternative assignment. It's useful to choose the alternative assignment if you plan on going further and doing a level 3 assessor qualification. The reason being, if you do the alternative assignment, it means you won't have to do the written work in the assessor qualification if you go on to do that, so you will thank yourself later. Check those out. If you're unsure which one to do, contact your tutor. If you have no intention on doing an assessor qualification, just do the normal standard level 3 assignment. Once your essay has been marked, your tutor will give you feedback via the system. You will be notified by email, and if you do need to resubmit, you just go back to the same place, make your amendments to your essay and re-upload. If the feedback you get from your tutor is not quite clear, feel free to get in touch with them to clarify what you need to do. Let's talk a little bit more about the microteach session. So you do have to deliver as a minimum a 15-minute training session as part of this course. That can be done in several ways. If you're completing the course by distance learning, we recommend that you join one of our online sessions with other people like yourself doing this course. We typically try and get 4 or 5 people together and you will all deliver your 15-minute session to each other. In turn, you'll all act as learners and give each other feedback at the end of the session. This gets it all done within an hour and a half or so, and then you can go on to complete your self-evaluation. If you don't want to do it that way, you can record your own session. So you can mock up your own training session, either with friends, family, colleagues, and you can then send your recording in to your tutor. If you're actively working as a trainer or tutor, you can record a real session. Just make sure that you ask permission from your learners before you do that. You can then send the session in. It can be up to 1 hour in length. Set it into your tutor and make sure you have a lesson plan to match the content that you delivered. If you do deliver your own session to colleagues or people in the workplace, friends, family, you do need to get feedback from your trainees. So please use the feedback form that we provide and also send copies of that in. You should also deliver to 3 people. That's a minimum of 3 people too, because that gives enough people for us to see any interaction. If it's 1-to-1, it's very hard for us to gauge that. So finally, I'd like to thank you again for choosing ATC training and wish you luck in completing your qualification. Please make full use of our training resources and contact your tutor if needed. And I really hope these resources and this qualification helps you in your future career. Thank you and good luck.